Hello everyone and welcome back to New Cats, more New Cats. It's episode 3000, I think, probably. More episodes than One Piece at this point. And we are coming off another bowl victory, our second Capital One Bowl victory, and our third bowl game, period. So, we have been to a bowl game for the last 3 seasons. We've won 2 of them, and that is enough to get us another contract extension with Northwestern as we finished ranked number 3 in the country. We did maintain team prestige. That was the only goal we accomplished. We did not win the Big Ten. We did not win the Natty, but prestige is up. We have 3 bowl bids, as I mentioned. We've dominated Illinois. We're doing really good against ranked opponents, too, because we play about 3 or 4 every year, so we're getting a lot of mileage in with ranked opponents. And, of course, our record overall as a coach is pretty solid over our last contract. So they've seen enough here at Northwestern. They want us to stick around for a little bit, and we cannot blame them. So we finished ranked number 3, which is, of course, by and large, our best finish so far. So we started off ranked 9th in the country, only lost 1 game, and finished 3rd. I think because of how we lost, when we lost, and who we lost to, that kind of really made our season awkward. We didn't get the looks of some of these other bigger bowl games because of that, because of tie-ins and stuff. Louisville finally gets themselves a national title. And if you've been paying attention thus far, I know I mentioned that a lot, Louisville has now played in 3 national title games, BCS championship games, since I've started this sim, and that is their first win. And that is a complete rematch of last year, except Oklahoma won. So Oklahoma's played in like 7. No, I'm kidding. They've played in the last, I think it's 4. They played in this year's and lost. They won last year against Louisville. They lost to Ohio State the year before, and then they beat Air Force the year before that. So just kind of a little tidbit if you're paying attention to how college football by and large is kind of doing as we continue this. So Jermel Weber, in his last year as a Wildcat, posts his best season as far as yards are concerned. He has the same amount of touchdowns as last year, but another great productive season for him. Again, we're only getting the 1,000-yard receiver. I want more of that spread out, and I thought with upping the balance of our pass and run would do that, but we're still struggling to spread the ball out more. Or actually not spread the ball out because a lot of receivers are getting 400, 500-plus yards each season, but I want 2 dominant 1,000-yard receivers, really. Walker has an amazing season on the line for us. No one else is really worth mentioning, I guess. Everyone's kind of somewhere in the middle here. But Mo Powell, what a name, first of all. Mo Powell in his senior year finally gets on the field and absolutely shows out with 97 tackles and 20 TFLs. I mean, just absolutely crazy. That's what you love to see. And also 8 sacks. The dude was a menace. He was all over the field. Doesn't put nothing on Chambers there with his 11 sacks. Jeez. But Charles Callaway, our Jim Thorpe Award winner, comes down with 8 INTs. I think he had that interception potentially in the Capital One Bowl in the last video. I think that was probably him. And then Deshaun Davis, who also gets All-American honors, second-team All-American, is just behind Callaway with 1 interception. We had a few guys with 5+, man. It's pretty awesome. Kicking is exactly where it always is because that's just what happens, I guess. We can never have nice things. And we did get a kick return TD, so that's fun. And a punt return TD. Isn't that nice? Cool. It's the little things in life, It's the little things. We're going to look at how the team did overall in the country. These stats I don't think really replicate where we were like a year or 2 prior, because normally it's always like one aspect of our team that really falters. We never really have like a kind of just all over the place type of team, you know what I mean? And if we do, it reflects in our record. We're 8-5, 7-5, 5-7, whatever. But when we're really good like this, and this is the best season we've had so far, you'd expect to see a lot higher rankings, I guess, across the board, and you really aren't seeing that. I mean, it's kind of mixed in offense and defense, and efficiency is awful yet again. We are a terrible team on 3rd down, terrible team on 4th down. I mean, that's been the case pretty much my entire time here, so we just have not been able to kind of get over that hump. It's kind of like, hey, if we're not scoring or moving the ball on 1st and 2nd down, just forget about it. It's over with. You know what I mean? So, but turnovers is also another huge thing. See, we're first in INTs, defensive INTs. So, we always get the ball back, but then we're 105th in giveaways. You know what I mean? That pretty much makes it a net neutral. You know what I mean? it's just funny how that works. So we're going to look over now our award winners, and there you see we get a page in Sports Illustrated. Charles Callaway gets himself a little page there. That's always cool. And then boom, we get another one. Jermel Weber gets on a page here in Sports Illustrated, gracing the front of the All-Americans in general, as he gets first-team All-American honors for his wonderful season as a receiver. I was checking between this Joel McLean guy at Western Michigan, because I'm like, what was the difference in production between the both of us if we both got selected? Because Weber had a much more show-out season than McLean did, but they both got the selection. So I guess I need to be looking at these a little bit closer, because maybe they're not as airtight or as cool or consistent as I thought they were. And then Charles Callaway also gets himself a first-team All-American selection. Well-deserved for the work that he put in this year. It's hardly ever not deserved whenever we are in the All-Americans, okay? We always have guys that absolutely put on for the city of Evanston, Illinois. And then Jermaine Chambers, our defensive tackle, gets second-team All-American honors. He had 11 sacks. I think that led our team. I'm pretty sure that led our team. Which is great. I love seeing that we're getting pressure up front. Deshaun Davis, our cornerback, also gets second-team All-American honors with his 7 interceptions, as he should. Not really disruptive anywhere else. Didn't have a lot of tackles or anything on the quarterback, but, the picks. He was a menace through the air. And then Adam Lamb, our quarterback, gets freshman All-American honors. You got to remember that, dude. We were doing law school with a freshman quarterback. I mean, how many times can you think of in which, a team that was kind of not that great in the last few seasons, gets a freshman quarterback and they just kind of run the table. That's kind of what we did this year. Chambers also gets on the freshman team as well. I don't know if that counts as like 2 or if we're just counting that as 1. I really don't know. But we had a really great season. It really reflected on our team here, especially with our young guys. I'm sure Lamb and Chambers were amongst all those blue chips that we just brought in like last year and the year before. Here are the Big Ten standings. We, of course, finished second because of our one loss to Ohio State. Ohio State's one loss was not to us, so they get the Big Ten title, and we sit just behind them, even though we are ranked higher than they are. It's whatever. We're just going to have to, be perfect, I guess. There's always going to be a game against either Wisconsin or Ohio State that's going to trip us up. And Indiana, a winless season. They didn't win a single game. That is nuts, dude. They came within like 10 of us, I think, right? Or no. That was the shootout this year, right? Like 63-50 was that score? Yeah, that's nuts. And they didn't win a single game. That is crazy. That needs a full 30 for 30 documentary for that explanation. So we finished ranked 3rd. Air Force and Louisville are above us. That is disgusting. Ew. I hate every part of that. UAB is 7th, even grosser. I mean, this is just, when you get like 5-6 years in, it just starts getting broken. Miami's down to 13 now, like just ew. Purdue sneaks in again. They always seem to finish ranked for some reason. They just do. They just play well enough to do that, but nothing else. Penn State sneaks into the rankings, as well as Alabama off of their bowl victories. And Vanderbilt closes things out. Look at that. Vanderbilt's finally stepping up. They normally stay really terrible throughout these entire sims. But hey, they had a decent season this year, I guess. So that's cool for them. So we're going to move into our next season. We still have a little bit of time left in this video, so we are going to do our off-season duties before heading into the 2012 season as we trudge right along. We have a junior who's considering leaving. He's kind of leaning on the stay side, but he's a little bit closer to the middle. I hate wasting those recruiting points because that just takes away from general recruiting points. I hate wasting them on these guys, but we are losing a lot of dudes, man. Weber is leaving us. Arrington, I know that's, and then Charles Callaway is also leaving us. A lot of high-end guys that we kind of relied on last year are going to be leaving us, so it's going to be difficult to replace them. But remember, we just recruited a gajillion 5-stars, so after about a year or two, they should be at the point where, if we're not playing for the natty, what are we doing? Speaking of all of our blue chips, we have another dominant recruiting season as we carry all the blue chips we can. Don't let us loose in Vegas because we got all the chips, baby. quite a few 5-stars are coming our way to Northwestern. We also got quite a few 4-stars. Just loading up our class, filling up any space that we can. If someone wants to come and play for the Wildcats, they can, because I am not picky. So we will see how that stacks up in the rest of the nation. And of course, it's first. Did you really have any doubt? 22 total recruits, 12 of them 4-stars, and 9 of them are 5-stars. USC still looks like they have the most 5-stars, though, but they don't really load out their class anywhere else. So USC might be a threat, but we still have the best recruiting class in the nation. Ohio State is here at 8. Our first Big Ten rival in the top 25 of recruiting classes. Wisconsin is here at 15. They're typically a problem for us. This doesn't necessarily mean that they will be good, you know what I mean, because they probably have upperclassmen who are probably better than some of our guys, so they might be a better team than us. Purdue is here at 19, and that kind of rounds out the top 25 as far as the Big Ten is concerned. So it's kind of a race between Ohio State, us, Wisconsin, and Purdue. That's kind of right now the race. And it's funny because Purdue always kind of finishes with at least 3 to 5 losses, you know, but Wisconsin and Ohio State are always like 1 to 3 loss teams, like always. So we need to join them in that, because right now we're sitting in the Purdue ranks, losing 4 or 5 games a year. So we need to make sure that last year isn't a fluke and that we're doing that every year as we look over our training results, and our team is just solid, man. Look at that, mid-80s across the board. We got some outliers on the higher and lower end of that spectrum, but we, in general, are just a better-looking team now. I'm feeling a lot more confident about the guys that we have. A lot of guys are turning that corner from high 70 to low 80, and it's going to make a world of a difference as far as depth in our team goes moving along into the 2012 season, which I have high hopes and high expectations for the 2012 season. We even have a good running back room, which is not, again, you know, it's not something I focus on, but we have good running backs. We have some depth at that position too, so that'll be cool here. Receiving is consistent. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, dude. Like, you see this, like, everyone is around that 85, I'd say 83, like 87 range. Like, we have a lot of consistency in those numbers, so we're going to reshuffle some of these guys since we can slide in and get maybe a couple overall points higher at certain positions and just make the best possible team that we can. So, and this is going to draw us pretty close towards the end of our video, so kind of wrapping things up. We're looking ahead now to try to have our best possible season that we can. Okay, we have yet to win the Big Ten so far. We've been doing this for almost 10 years. Okay, the 2003 season was our first season as head coach and for the Wildcats, and we have yet to win the Big Ten. We've yet to really get close, honestly. Our highest placement was in 2009 when we finished second, and then, of course, last year we finished second. So, you know, I really want to win a Big Ten title in this next season. I'm hoping that we can. Here is a look at our schedule kind of before we get into the sim. Again, we have 4 ranked conference opponents sitting on the schedule, and our out-of-conference opponents kind of look a little bit softer, so we may just roll with that and see what we can do as we start off the season ranked number 2. So, hope to see you guys in the next video when we go into our 2012 season. We're going to need all of you there to hopefully win the Big Ten.